Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the inventor of the CTKS method and BORSOG trading. If you're new, a very warm welcome. And welcome back, KS family. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth and positive excellence in the process. It's been a really interesting past trading session. And one thing that we do as crypto technical analysts, we always do our ANF. We know we control the trade, but the market controls the return. So the first thing we think about, if price goes against us, what would that mean? If it went nowhere, if it went flat, what would it mean? And if it went for us, what would it mean? We're always thinking in a three-dimensional manner. We're not taking one position, we're always taking three. Crypto technical analysis is a rules-based profession. We look very broadly, but we first most always mark up our charts with the CTKS method. Now, why do we do that? Because we need to know the internal structure of what we're looking at. When we know about all the resistance levels and the support levels, and we understand the crypto's particular personality, its price personality, we're in a much better place to make decisions. And we can see that Bitcoin's price absolutely went parabolic. And why is this? I believe that the large institutions came in and actually defended the Armageddon line. Good on you guys, fantastic. Why is that 18,942 a level that even bears consideration? It's because if we lose this support like we did previously, we could see a very large sell-off. Obviously, the institutions didn't want that and they stepped in. Bitcoin is currently trading at 20,639. If you're in the stock market, you may say, oh, Charlie Munger said Bitcoin and crypto is rat poison. I think one thing Charlie missed is Bitcoin is a very risk-on asset that can predict the movement of the stock market. Whatever you do, if you don't believe in crypto at all, you need to keep your eye on Bitcoin. One thing that we need to consider, we're still under a degree of resistance, and the main markets are under resistance as well. It's not clear sailing just yet. And if we look at this big push here, up towards the resistance line and through it, we had a resistance playing out here where we saw a similar kind of push. It did have a follow through. It tried to get above resistance here but failed and pushed back to a support level. Just keep this kind of play in mind. It's what we could potentially see here. The other thing to note is that we could get something like a reversal. So be really cautious at this particular time. When people first get into trading and investing, they want to be fully participating in the market at all time. Buy every low, sell every top. No wonder they panic, and when it doesn't work, no wonder they get into conflict, first with themselves and then with anybody else. I've been in financial markets for more than 3 decades, and we all go through this process. What we need to do is to exit zone 1 and zone 2 by learning and developing patience, and especially by developing empathy. That empathy will allow us to be kind to ourselves, and that's really, really important. Zone 1 and Zone 2 are the lose money rule zones. We don't want to be in there. Zone 3 and Zone 4 are the make money and keep money rule zones. And it's not just about money, it's about having a beautiful life as well. And that doesn't mean sitting on the beach sipping margaritas, although maybe you want to do that. It means having positive excellence as a guiding force in your life, which means you actually enjoy yourself without having to sit on a beach and sip a margarita. And that's why inside our creed, we say, I win or learn and never blame. Blame is the hallmark of Zone 1 and Zone 2. We need to mature into Zone 3 and Zone 4, or else the market will take our money. It's very unpleasant. Always think about when you enter a trade, do your ANF. And a trade, we know all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. So if you're an investor buying or a trader buying, always think about what can go wrong first, what can go absolutely nowhere second, and what can go for you third. And we're just assuming that you're going to go long. Some key levels in Bitcoin to keep your eye on. Bitcoin is currently trading at 20,628. We have very stiff opposition at the 21,540 mark. Just keep this in your mind. There are likely to be a lot of sellers around the 21,500 mark, creating a bit of a barrier for price to go higher. Just bear that one in mind. We have a support level at 20,476, another stronger one at 19,973. And what are actually these lines? They're dynamic smart money buy and sell levels formed through the CTKS method, and that SL means Stanfield level. Turning towards Ethereum. Ethereum is trading at $1,703.85, 1703.85. We can see a resistance level, quite a strong one, at 1740. Just bear this in mind. There are quite a cluster of resistances above, all the way up to 1808. If Ethereum gets past 1808, it's pretty clear sailing to 2107, but there's quite a bit of resistance up there. You'll actually notice that there's not too much support playing in under Ethereum's current price. And this is just a reinforcement of how powerful that Armageddon line is. We don't want to cross it. I'm going to show you something here. Look at the shorts actually just coming out of the market, the longs coming into the market. Let's just go forward in time and see what happened. Basically, the shorts said, haha, I'm just kidding. We're really coming back into the market. And the market just came down to the Armageddon level. And then what are the shorts doing? They're coming back out of the market. Well, they're coming out of the market. And the longs are buying the dip. One thing to be very, very aware of, the institutions hunt stops in crypto land. The truth is they do it in every market. But when they were hunting the stops, it caused upward price momentum. We're getting into that resistance level. We have passed it previously and it didn't hold. Just be aware that the institutions may have come in not with good intentions. Oh no, how could we ever think that? Maybe they just thought, well, there's so many people thinking that the crypto market is going to falter. And that, why would they think that? Because we're so close to a loss of support just down here. And what did the institutions do? Well, they came in and they actually bought. They took out all of those short stop limits. They liquidated the stops on traders that were going short. Now, why would they actually do this? This is a favorite tactic of institutional investors and players. Basically, they go contrary to the market. That's why you often see very weird things happening and markets inverting. But there's always a longer term perspective. When you look at the market from one day to the next, it's like a basket case. It can do basically anything. But over time, there are very, very clear trends that emerge. And looking at liquidations, over the past 24 hours, there was 215.55 million across 51,141 positions. And when we look at total liquidations across the past 24 hours, 74% were short. Across the past 12 hours, 83% short. The past 4 hours, 83% short again. And the past hour, nearly 70% short. The shorts have been handed their lunch by the institutions. And what does this actually mean? We're going to get into a deeper dive because there's so much you need to understand how to position yourself in crypto. It's, of course, in the stock market as well, and in precious metals. They all are interrelated markets. But the concept is the shorts absolutely got smashed. And we know Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. As Bitcoin came up because of all those short liquidations, what happened to ETH? Ethereum just went for a party. What about Binance Coin? Yep, up she came. What about ADA? Cardano came up as well. XRP looking really good. A lot of strength there. Solana coming up. Doge came up, but not as strong. It doesn't have that strength in it. You notice that. And DOT coming up strongly. Matic doing really well as well. Like all games, trading and investing is a game of skill. It's not a game of luck. If you're out there playing tennis against the world's number one and you're relying on luck, hey, you're in a lot of trouble. And it's exactly the same with trading and investing. How do we prepare ourselves? We mark up the charts with the CTKS method. We look outside the charts, outside crypto, to see how the main markets are going, because they really, really matter. Then we look back inside the crypto market, understanding that opportunities reset daily and finding the market's focus. Before we buy or sell, which is stage 5 in this scientific process, we have to go through stage 4, which is mastery of emotional control. Why do we need to master emotional control? I thought it's just all about buy and sell levels and these indicators and things like that. Well, it's a mind game. When you get out there and you have to put your hard-earned money on the line, emotions will kick in, and they will kick in hard, especially when you lose. Sometimes people are not sure if they're in zone 1 or zone 2 or zone 3 or zone 4. If you're actually doing something like this, getting ready and firing and then aiming, you're either in zone 1 or zone 2. If you're getting very, very angry with yourself and other people, you're in zone 2. If you're cool, calm and collected and you place your buys and sells with a structure and a scientific method, for example, what we do here, and you can afford to basically walk away from the charts and not look at them and just let things play out, you're in zone 3. And if you're having a good time while you're doing anything, including losing money in the markets, you're in zone 4. The markets are incredibly turbulent and they're going to get even more so. Take the reins of your own future, and that starts with active learning. The market will reward your knowledge, and there's no knowledge like understanding if the market will go down, go flat, or go up. And then thinking about how and what you will do if price moves against you, goes nowhere, or goes for you. And how synchronized are you in with the market? For example, if you've got the Midas touch and everything you're doing is working, your synchronization score, your synchronization percentage is literally at 100%. But if you've got the opposite of that, everything you touch turns to dirt. You buy and it collapses. It's getting close to a synchronization factor of 0. What you will find when you're in the markets and doing your active learning, you do everything you can to possibly raise your synchronization factor up through knowledge. And it's so important to have the integrity to put your true synchronization factor down. It's never a reflection on anyone. Everybody's at different stages. And also, portfolio structures are different. Risk tolerances are different. Everything is different. How much money you have. All sorts of things are different. You can have a low synchronization factor, but be very confident in your decisions, but just not prepared emotionally to put the money into the market. That's more than fine. And this is why I suggest you BORSOG, buy on red, sell on green. And what is BORSOG? It's a trading and investing market synchronization technique. Oh, there's that synchronization again. What you do is you start with really small position sizes and then just scale up when you're synchronizing. And when you get to the Midas touch and you think, wow, this is fantastic, you may take bigger and bigger risks, go for higher and higher percentage risk for your returns. And then what you will find is you desynchronize. Then you should be descaling, trying to get that Midas touch again. Don't forget, you can start small, but you want to scale when things are going your way, when you're feeling confident. And if it's going against you, desynchronization is occurring. Please descale. We know Rule 225, Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. Globally, what are the stock markets doing? Through the ACWI, the All Country World Index, what we've seen is a bit of a rounding. There's been so many rejections of price, but so many people going short. The shorts have actually pushed the markets up at the moment. Pretty much all global markets are under resistance, so just be aware of that. And when we look at the main market, we could see fear coming out of the market. Why did it do that? Why did the fear leave? Because prices were going up. And what happens where fear comes back into the market? Well, prices are going down. And people don't like that. Who likes that? That's horrible. We just wish the prices would go up and up and up. Oh no, they have. That's what's caused inflation. What we can see when we look at the NASDAQ 100, that's come into resistance. It's going to be really interesting what happens from here. Note that we are still under resistance in the main markets. We can see bond prices have found a level of support, but they're just tentatively playing with it. Bond yields have found a level of resistance and they're seeking to get above it. There's a fairly strong trend in there. Just be aware of that. Gold is rallying. The DXY, the Dixie, is falling. And how? It's really falling. Oil is finding support. Junk bonds have put in a glorious effort. They're absolutely going for it, but there's still a lot of negative pressure and negative momentum. So what is happening with the DXY? There are a lot of resistance levels playing at around the 110 mark. And what we saw was the DXY trying to get up there. It tried and failed. It tried, created negative air, and actually collapsed down through a support level. There is a support level, and you can see it playing with it here at 108,826, but it's lost that as well. I'll just move this up a bit for you. If we lose the 108,399 mark, the next area of real support inside the DXY is 107,253. And let's go the other way and see what is happening. We had a lot of resistance at the 109,954 mark, around the 110 and 111 marks. There's so many sellers in here that they're pushing the DXY down at the moment. We can see platinum and palladium have been coming up. Copper has been coming up. Silver and gold and Bitcoin all coming up as the dollar sells off. And that's taken fear outside of the market. So the inverted DXY is actually falling and the inverse VIX is rising. A lot of people will get very excited for gold, but please bear in mind there is a lot of resistance between 1758 and 1767. And remember, these are dynamic smart money buy and sell levels formed through confluence of the CTKS method. What is so fascinating, after the work that we did yesterday on analyzing all the Fed speeches and FOMC speeches, they're all saying the same thing. They're saying they're playing the same tune. And Jerome Powell did exactly the same thing. Look at the probability of a 75 basis point increase in the federal funds rate. It's romped up to 86%. Yesterday it was 77%. The market was widely anticipating a 50 basis point increase. That's now down to 14%. When Jerome Powell did his Jackson Hole speech, I said 100 basis points will be absolutely statistically probable to come onto the board. And look at this, 86% for a 75 basis point, 2 weeks out from the FOMC meeting. In yesterday's episode 647, I did a very, very deep dive on all the Fed speeches, went through and crunched the numbers for you, broke their speeches down so that you can understand the long-term ramifications of what they're talking about and how it will actually affect markets going forward. I would deeply urge you to have a look at that video if you haven't had the chance yet. Because of what Jerome Powell said in his Jackson Hole speech, I believe there's a very strong statistical probability that we're going to see the potential probabilities for a 100 basis point increase to show themselves on the table. A lot of people would think that was inconceivable when Jackson Hole was done. But after reading and analyzing his speech, and we do that in that particular episode, you'll see that it's more than likely, it's probable. We need to master ourselves to master the market, and mastering yourself just means that you kick out of your life self-doubt and self-sabotage. But how do you know when self-doubt is hitting you and self-sabotage is ruining your future? It's all about blame. If you find yourself blaming, you're actually self-doubting and self-sabotaging. That's the only way to detect it. Every human being experiences blame, so how do we get rid of it? We embrace positive excellence. Positive excellence is all about putting in the hard work. It's about learning, having humility, having kindness, and especially being kind to yourself. Yesterday's video was so long, we didn't have time to go through the comments on how to deal with toxicity. Making a conscious decision and separating yourself from that vibe, said meditative, is the way to go. Holding yourself accountable and letting go of the past to move on. Brilliant, my friend. Donna said something really profound on how to handle toxic people and not become one. Just detach. It's really interesting. From my senior executive background, a lot of senior executives are highly toxic people. They're very hungry for power. And positive excellence is not something they've ever really thought about with any concern. They tend to dehumanize people, calling them minions, and I'm talking about directors. It's interesting that I always took them on, and I said, don't call them minions, they're not minions, they're people. I come from a family of lawyers, so I have no problem with conflict and no problem with giving someone a piece of my mind, but I don't want that because I want my mind back. All I can say is, if you're going up the corporate ladder, if you're doing really well, getting promoted, don't become those toxic people. We need a change at the top. Donna, thanks so much for sharing that. Jade said, for toxic people, the best thing are to have boundaries. Absolutely. The best bosses are kind but wield a big stick. And Jade gave some really good strategies, giving toxic people clear expectations, clearly defining the consequence of their actions if boundaries are broken, and treating those people with kindness and empathy, but establishing a very firm limit on them. This is really insightful. I believe that everybody is fundamentally good in their heart, including toxic people. They deserve a chance. But if they cross the line, if they cross the boundaries, they deserve to be shown the door. Brett added another really good dimension to the conversation. Toxic people can hide in the short term who they are, but they can't do it long term. Toxic people are basically bullies. If you stand up to them, they will not play fair. They'll twist half-truths to their advantage, exaggerate facts, steal your ideas and take credit. You'll need to be very well prepared, be truthful and stand strong. And they will only move on when they find another victim to abuse. Brett says he's stood up to these people, and not always won, but it's always draining. Toxic people are absolute wizards at blame and no accountability. Brett said, Dr. Phil has a saying, if you're going to play with the pigs, then you're going to get muddy and they're going to like it. Wow, we had Dr. Phil on the show. Fantastic. My dad had a slightly different spin on it. He said, if you lay down with dogs, you're going to wake up with fleas. Supposedly he wanted me to sleep with a dog? I don't know. Divine Art had some very insightful words. When it comes to toxic people, it's important to hold kindness and empathy for these people. Don't take it personally, as they are only wounded children in reactivity. They unconsciously are seeking love because they don't know how to love themselves. Be kind. It's a really good piece of advice, but also your boundary is incredibly important. Philip said, detaching is really important because toxic people make you feel inadequate, and feeling sorry for them doesn't really help because they just put you in pain to make themselves feel bigger. And Philip says, I think perhaps every toxic person I have met has actually been inadequate themselves, I'm sorry to say. And thank you, TSP, for your very kind comment. Buildy said something exceptionally important. If toxic people don't wish to change, and generally they don't wish to change because it's your fault, it's not their fault, because they blame, they can't learn. The only way toxic people actually change is to take responsibility, and that's really hard for them to see. So Buildy says, cut them out of your life as quickly as possible and help others to get away also. I have a very toxic person at work that's caused a number of people to leave over the years I've been there. And this particular woman calls herself by a name which is not flattering. And she likes to make female staff cry for their mistakes. Buildy says, if they attack me, I don't put any weight behind their words because they have no integrity. And there's no point taking the bully's anger and patronization as a valid reflection of something I've done, because again, they have no integrity. I have so much admiration and love and respect for our incredible global family. You're just awesome people. Michael said, life is too short to waste on toxic people. Know your boundaries and firmly maintain it. It's sort of like an Armageddon line. Wow, good one, Michael. But I also do find that some respect and understanding can go a long way. Sometimes some people just feel that they're not being treated with importance or not being understood. Personally, when I deal with any toxic person, the first thing I do, the first concept is understand and empathize as well, because they may have a really valid point, something I haven't seen. It's really all about learning. And Omega collects, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. What a legendary quote. And John says, I avoid toxic people and engage with positive people. It's a very, very good point. And Oscar said, I aim to deal with toxic people by setting and enforcing boundaries, kindly if possible, aggressively if necessary. And sometimes it's true, you do have to be aggressive. Boundaries do need to be defended. And Crypto Turtle said, toxic people are like children, entitled to everything, responsible for nothing. They're controlling, they fly into rage quickly, throw temper tantrums, and verbally abuse others when they don't get exactly what they want. They want everything for free. They don't respect others. They blame and push what they are doing onto other people. They are always right. All opinions must be their way. They don't know how to be kind, and they don't know how to live with empathy. They like gossip. They like to see people hurt, sad, and in pain. Toxic people complain and blame everything and everybody else except for themselves. When they make mistakes, they want somebody else to pay the price. Crypto Turtle, I think you've met more than one toxic person in your life. So how to deal with toxic people? I cut them out of my life as soon as they start. I spend my time wisely with people that I love and people who are decent and have integrity. And people who are decent and have integrity, they just really want you to succeed in life. They don't want to take you down. Hang around. Positive excellence. People in the CTKS family is the way. Crypto Turtle, that's very nice. And why are we talking about toxicity and toxic people? Because we all live in a world where toxic people exist, and we need to be happy even if we encounter them. And I'm thinking, if you have friends or family who could benefit from positive excellence and what we do each and every day here, please introduce them to our community by sharing a video. We'd love to see them here, and we have one of the best communities on YouTube. I just want to thank everybody so very, very much for your very kind comments yesterday. Unfortunately, I was late putting out the morning video like I usually do, and I put it out much later, and people got really worried. I just got so caught up in analyzing all the Fed speeches and collecting data and doing the biggest, deepest dive I could possibly do for everyone. The time just got away from me. And I was thinking, for the next week, I'll do things around this particular time period. You're such amazing people. I just feel so blessed to know you. I just think the world of all of you. And it makes me absolutely thrilled to see people who haven't commented in a little while. Just seeing their names just fills me with joy. And to Purpuratum, I hope you're on the mend, my friend. Thank you again, everyone. It's just beautiful. And thank you, everybody, for putting in your BORSOG codes. It's so important for your professional development. This code is for you, and it will make all the difference. Over time, you'll get more and more in sync with the market, and that's what the market will reward. It also gives us something really powerful as a community. It helps us to see how other people are thinking. And often what we'll find is that when everybody is incredibly bullish, it'll go the other way, and bearish, it will go the other way too. So it's great to keep your eyes on this. We say in the CTKS Creed that we win or learn and never blame. Please let me know in the comments, how have you managed to overcome blame, because it's a really natural human emotion. I think that would help so many people. Your thoughts, your comments really matter to me. For your borsogging, let's look through the crypto market sectors. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. And please note, I don't have WhatsApp or Telegram. Thank you very much to the CTKS ambassadors for mentoring masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global KS family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use and links to the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.